Kimberly, thank you for $5, Kimberly.
I'm sorry. It's really hard to focus on this conversation when you guys are just like, I mean.
Okay, well, too bad. Cry about it. Go get some tissues. All right, let's get this next person up here. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024, y'all. I actually don't care, dude. Oh my god, it's so hard for me to know what I'm saying, dude. Cool, man. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Alright, only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024. We are just looking for some debates. Mohammed, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you for your due. Tissues for Sean, thank you so much. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello?
47.
Are you voting Trump?
Yes.
Why so?
Harris is a communist.
Is there a way you can get closer to your microphone, and can you define communism? Christopher, thank you so much for the $30. Thank you so much, Christopher. Can we get some W's for Christopher in the comment section right now? Thank you so much.
Prices of food and everything, and giving away money and making.
She didn't advocate for price controls on groceries. That's also not communism.
Look it up. It's socialism. Hasn't worked in Cuba.
Can you define socialism? Can you define communism?
Hasn't worked in any of the.
Hey, Carlos, can you define socialism and can you define communism for me, please? Okay, he ran away. Wow, what a fucking joke. Alright, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024, y'all. Boss Babe, that was the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen in my comment section. I debate anyone. Only send a guest request if you are voting for Trump. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello?
18.
Are you voting Trump? Are you voting Trump?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yeah, 23.
Trump?
Of course I am.
Why so?
Well, listen, a lot of people have not been talking about this, and I'm going to talk about it right now. Kamala Harris is going to be banning peanut butter, and I am not going to stand for that.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
What's going on, man?
Are you voting Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you?
Be 26 this year.
Okay, why are you voting Trump?
Gun laws for the main part.
Okay, so how do you feel about, specifically the, the bump stock ban? That was, one of the largest pieces of gun control legislation in the modern era?
I didn't catch that. Do what?
That was one of the largest pieces of gun control in the modern era?
Yeah, I know. I know Trump passed that. I know he did. I didn't agree with it, but not everybody's perfect.
Okay. So he violated the Second Amendment. He also advocated to violate the First Amendment, specifically in saying that he wants people who burn the American flag to be put in prison for a year.
Actually, there is a proper way whenever a flag is taken out of service that American flags actually are banned or are burned, and there's a proper technique for it. If you don't believe me, look it up. Whenever flags are taken out of service, but I could understand why he was saying that, because when you burn the American flag, technically that could be considered treason.
Okay, so that is not treason, 1. 2, it was determined by the Supreme Court to be free speech, like free expression.
Okay. Well, back to the Second Amendment thing anyhow, though. What is Kamala's stance on the Second Amendment? Guns and things of that. What are her gun laws? What does she want to do?
Yeah, so she wants to ban assault weapons. She wants to bring
What's an
about
assault weapon?
She wants to bring about red flag laws, and she wants to do a universal background check.
What's an assault?
I never said I knew anything like about assault weapons. I just told you what our policy was.
Okay, well, first things first, you can't ban something that technically doesn't exist.
You don't think assault
Assault.
weapons exist?
Assault is a
No,
verb.
technically they don't. Technically they don't. I mean, what they mean is like certain.
Yeah, so like what Kamala Harris means an assault
semi-autos.
weapon would just be different than what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
Like it's
assault
a-
weapons
like
do
it's a
exist. She's just
word.
using a different term than you are.
Yeah, it's a term that has just been used for like decades. So, but we know what they mean when they say it. So when they say it, we know what type of guns they are like talking about.
Yeah, so like you can't say that they don't exist. You're just telling me that you use the term differently than me.
What I'm saying is assault is a verb. Every firearm is considered a weapon. Assault's just something that politicians attach to it to make it sound scary.
Wait, what is an AR? Can you tell me what AR means?
AR does not stand for assault rifle. AR stands for Armor Light Model
Armalite,
15.
yeah, Armalite. It's the brand
So
name.
you never use it to refer to as an assault rifle?
No, AR-15 stands for Armor Light Rifle Model 15.
So you don't think assault rifles exist?
In that context, no.
I mean, there
No,
are.
but like, would
okay,
you refer
buddy,
to something as an assault rifle?
Buddy, you do admit that there are rifles that are classified as assault rifles. It's just that I think
Like
from your
people are
perspective,
so annoying with defining guns. Like we
Yeah,
all use
we-
that. Like I'm sorry. Like let's just be
No,
clear.
you're
We
good.
all use that terminology to refer to it. Okay,
Yeah.
we all do. It just depends on how you're using the term. Language is subjective. Linguistics are subjective. Most professionals, as it relates to linguistics, indicate that. Okay, so you're just using the term differently than me.
Well, yeah, and I know, but it aggravates me too because politicians use that term freely to define weapons, and
And they
it
can.
could-
It just depends what they mean.
Okay, so what's your definition of an assault weapon?
I never claimed to have a definition. I'm just saying that they're using the term differently than you guys are. I don't. To be totally frank with you, I don't care about guns. I don't give a shit. I'm not clear with the empirics. I don't know what the empirics indicate. I just don't care enough about them. So if they want to take assault rifles away or whatever you want to refer to them as, right? I don't give a shit. I really don't care. I don't think you need it to defend yourself. I think you can defend yourself with other guns, right? So I don't see a reason as to why you wouldn't vote for Kamala Harris, given that Trump's been held civilly liable for sexually assaulting a woman, for defamation, for fraud, having 34 felonies, trying to overthrow the government, restricting women's access to abortion, calling for a complete and total shutdown of Muslims entering the country, all of these different things.
Okay, and back to what you were saying earlier about the bump stock ban. Yes, I agree. That was an infringement upon the Second Amendment, but that is not as large of an infringement as what she is pursuing with an assault weapons ban. You know, and I've even read that she wants to ban high capacity magazines too. There
I
is.
agree. Are you against red flag laws?
I'm kind of in the gray zone on that right now, but not for the reason. I get why people want them and how they could be good and things like that, but at the same time, that could be twisted in use. It could.
So, do you think? Okay, but do you? Okay, how about this? Do you think certain? So, let's lay out what. Do you think that like Bruin was argued effectively, or like was the correct decision?
I'm so I didn't catch you on that,
Do
man.
you
I'm
think
sorry.
Bruin, the most recent Supreme Court case on gun rights, was right?
I actually haven't got a chance to read up on that.
Okay, well then I won't even talk about it then. The problem is that her
Jamie, think of the $3.64.
gun
Thank you so much.
control legislation that she wants to pass is relatively popular. Like it's mainly red flag laws. It's mainly bans on like really high capacity magazines, bump stock bans, things like that. Yes, she does support a quote unquote assault rifle, ban, but the likelihood of that passing is low anyways. But I think the overall effect of what she wants to do is relatively minor compared to what Donald Trump doesn't want to do. Because Donald Trump essentially
Crystal, think of the
believe
$10.
that-
Thank you so much.
doesn't believe that there's any there's an actual problem. when there is a gun problem, we should try to solve that problem. She has solutions. You may disagree with them, but Donald Trump doesn't even believe that there is a problem.
Yeah, and I understand where you're coming from, but she's actively pursuing a ban on a certain, well, I'll say it for the sake of argument, assault weapons.
Yes, I agree. Yes, I agree, and that's because we did it once already in the 90s, and its effect was largely positive. We know from the data, from studies that have been done on it, that the effect of the ban in the 90s was largely positive. And so if it worked once, then it can probably work again. And I think, but again, I don't really like talking about gun control, mainly because the Supreme Court has handicapped our ability to really do anything about gun control. And so really there's no point in even talking about it, because aside from like maybe red flag laws, maybe universal comprehensive background checks, there's really nothing that the Congress can pass that will get by Bruin or the other one from 2008. Like it's just not possible.
Okay, well, the big thing I was wanting to talk about was like, okay, so the assault weapon, let's, again, for the sake of argument, assault weapons ban that she's wanting to put in high-capacity magazines and things like that.
Like, is that really your biggest issue? Like, you don't care about the fact that he was held civilly liable of sexual abuse? You don't care about him trying to say that he wants to put...
I never said Donald Trump was perfect.
Wait. So would you vote for someone who was held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman?
Honestly, the more and more I learn about each party, man, the less it makes me want to vote, honestly. But
you can say that, but at the end of the day, one of them is going to be president, right?
I
think
know
it's pretty clear that Kamala Harris is a better alternative. So would you vote for someone who was held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman?
Would you vote for someone that's actively looking to attack your constitutional rights?
Yeah, if it's taking away like those types of guns.
Because the right that you're mentioning, I think, is much more narrow and well defined, and is not as broad.
I think women's rights matter more than someone's access to an AR.
It's not just so. Everybody thinks the ARs are the big problem, the assault weapon ban, the high capacity magazines, and things like that, because they have been made publicly to be scary. Okay, so assault rifles.
No, regardless of what you think, I'm not talking about the scary. I'm just saying, if you care about stuff being taken away in terms of freedom to be able to get access to an abortion for women matters to me a lot more than someone's freedom to get access to an AR.
Okay, well, so let me ask you this then. So why do you think assault weapons should be banned?
Dude, I told you I don't care.
I personally don't. I mean, look, it's because, and I think I can speak for Parker for this too, but I'll speak for myself. I don't like guns. Like, I'm not a fan of them. Like, I don't get the fascination with them. I don't understand. But again, I'm not against them per se. I just don't care. Like, I honestly don't care. And as I already mentioned, I think constitutionally, I think we have good reason to believe that the Second Amendment should have been interpreted to be narrowly defined within what the framers thought. I don't think the framers believed that someone in 2024 would be carrying around a gun, that they had no conception what it would even look like, that someone would be going into schools with them, that someone would be, from a hotel building shooting down on them. I just do not believe that I think the Second Amendment has been given such a broad interpretation that is outside its historical and its founding idea. So that's my own philosophical belief. But again, it's mainly because I just don't give a shit about guns. Like, I just don't care. But I'm not against them per se. I just don't care.
So you if a bad guy came to your house with a gun and you're there with your wife and kids, would you care then?
I would.
In that
if a
scenario,
bad guy
I
came to my
obviously
house
don't have a gun. I would call the police.
Yeah, if a bad guy came to my house and he had a gun.
Wait. You think I'm gonna like be able to like fucking take out, like, let's say there's 5 people coming to my house. You think I'm gonna take out 5 like I'm James Bond?
If he had 100 clip, he would.
You think I can take out 5 people like I'm James Bond? Are you fucking trolling? You couldn't do that. No one in this live could do that.
With respect, though, Mark, with respect, though, military and police have done studies to see what the average effective range and shooting ability of the average citizen is, and even most police officers, they miss most of the time. Like you're expecting people in these high tense situations to be able to like be fucking
Parker is John Wick, so real.
be like Steven Seagal out here and just completely
Sean,
like
thank you,
mow
$2.
down people. Like that's not the issue. People's stress hormones are going to be so fucking high. They're going to be shooting into thin air. Like guns are not that hard to aim and shoot. Most people don't have the time to go out and do extensive training in like the military style. It just doesn't happen, which is why I think the more you give people guns, the more dangerous it is, which is what studies indicate.
Have you ever shot an AR before, or?
Yes, I have.
No.
I have. And I didn't particularly care for it, which is why I don't own one, because I don't care for it.
If you care for it, could you hit your target?
Could I? No, because I don't have good training with it. If I trained with it, I maybe could get up to that level of proficiency. But guess what?
No, don't worry. Inquiry's John Wick. So he's
Yeah, exactly. But as I mentioned, I don't care. Like I'm not going to spend the limited free time that I had outside of my day job going to a gun range to practice on an AR. I have other things. I would rather be at home playing guitar, talking to my girlfriend, playing video games. I don't care.
But
JP, do you think I'm paid by the DNC?
Oh, well, absolutely.
Why so?
Well, you sit there and you say, hey, Tina just donated $5 from the DNC. You said it yourself.
Do you actually think that's coming from the DNC, bro?
Well, I'm sure Tina wouldn't lie.
Okay, there's no way.
You think Tina would lie? No, come on, it's real.
No way.
But that's my point. But again, I've already answered the front of the question. No one on the Democratic side is changing gun laws. Why? Because it would never pass the Senate. It's not going to pass the House. And the courts have given such a broad interpretation
Everyone
of
keep
the
tapping
Second
that screen. Let's get
Amendment
to 1.5 million likes, y'all.
that it's simply not possible. It's not possible.
Quenisha,
So
thank you for the $3 from the DNC.
you can be scared of it, but it's not going to happen.
Guns that cops have.
Damon, thank you for the $10. Thank you.
If it's not possible to be done like you're saying, then why is she still pursuing it?
Because that's
So you're
her policy position. I have a policy position, right? I believe that we should have Medicare for all. I believe in
Jonna, thank you for the
universal-
$11.11 from the RNC. Thank you so
I
much.
believe in a universal healthcare system. But guess what? The likelihood of that happening is very low. But it's still my policy, right? I still believe it as part of my philosophical and political beliefs, right? I'm just saying that the probability of that passing Congress is low, right? Same thing with Trump. Trump can
Hey, Sean, thank you for the $3.
give a
Thank
policy
you.
position, but it may never pass the Congress,
So
right?
you want the wealthy not to pay for their hospital bills.
Huh? No,
What?
wait. What we're saying is, Wiki, I appreciate the $2. Thank you so much. What we're saying is that universal health care should be applicable to everyone. No one should have to pay.
Right, and the wealthy right now pay their hospital bills after a certain.
I think everyone's
level.
hospital bill should be taken care of the same way everyone's house should be taken care of with the firefighters.
Yeah, but the
Or with the
hospital
police. Should the
bills-
police not help people who are rich? Because they're rich?
Well, you're advocating taking guns away. We might as well take theirs away too.
Jesus Christ, dude. That's like, come on.
Did Parker
I'm not
and I
advocating
ever
to-
actually say that?
By the way, I'm not.
Never said
don't
it.
I'm not.
care,
Listen, I don't give a shit. That doesn't mean I'm advocating to take away your guns. Willow, thank you for the $5 from the
The
DNC.
other guy is.
I'm going to say my final points on this, unless you have some. I'm sure you'll have
Frank, thank you so much for the $25 for Parker as John Wick. Thank you so much, Frank.
something. If it was to happen, she was to ban assault weapons. Okay, it's a law. It passes. The only thing that's going to do is keep people like me and all the other law-abiding gun owners who follow the laws from getting those guns.
Not true.
People-
Australia.
They're still. What about these drug crime organizations and things of that nature, people who have tons of money. Now I know there's not very many of them, but they can still acquire illegal weapons.
Yeah, but it's significantly less likely. And also, where would they get these legal weapons? Or illegal weapons? More
Where do
likely
they
than
get 'em
not.
now?
More likely than not, these illegal weapons started off legal. Griffin, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you so much, Griffin. And Jesse, thank you for the $5 for RNC for Kamala. Thank you so much.
China
Yeah, but those-
loves to sell us weapons.
Yeah, those illegal weapons started off legal, but it's already
That's my
illegal.
point. So if it started off legal and there's not legal weapons anymore, well then how are they specifically going to be able to get access to the illegal weapons if most of the illegal weapons came from legal places in the first place?
Because if they have a shop full of the right milling equipment, lathes, and things of that nature, they can make their own, dude.
Griffin,
Right.
thank you for the $5. You can say they can make their own, but what's the likelihood of that given the scenarios of like Australia and others?
Wait, actually, buddy, it's actually advocating why we need more regulation precisely because people now can make their own. We need to highly regulate these types of things. Things like 3D printed guns, for example. That's a thing that the government needs to get ahead of.
They are already
this
regulated. They're illegal. They're called ghost guns, and they still get out there.
Yes, but they may be illegal, but the government needs to step in and figure out a way to actually prevent them from being made. They need to work with companies to make sure that perhaps those type of things cannot be produced. That's about making sure that we have an administration that gets ahead of the curve so that this does not become a problem. Because I don't know about you, I don't want this to become a problem where we have unregistered 3D guns just running around on our streets.
Great. More big
Well,
government.
see, that's
all
the
we
thing,
need.
though, man. Like, it's already to stop that. I mean, and honestly, to stop people from making and 3D printing guns, you would have to find a way to every 3D printer in the United
Olivia,
States.
thank you for the $15 for the DNC. Thank you so much,
every
Olivia.
CNC machine and everything. You would have to ban. You would have to like get into their software and make it to where they couldn't.
We
print
already do
type
that
of
for
thing.
certain things.
Yeah,
You
but there's
can't-
people that get around that all the time.
Well, no, like, for example, we don't allow people to actively look up how to make a bomb, for example. Right? We regulate that. Like Google actively regulates people when they look it up, they will forward the information to the FBI. Right? They pay attention heavily because since we had the Oklahoma City bombing and all that, these companies are mandated by law and through regulation to keep track of these type of searches. Same thing with things like online terrorism, right? They are actively and proactively looking for these things. So we can do the same thing for these other companies. We already do it for these other type of industries.
All search engines do that.
Google does, Bing does. I don't know if like DuckDuckGo does, but most of the really big
Monster. Monster.
perhaps. I mean, they all get their Google or they all get their search algorithms from the same source. And my guess is that unless you're on the dark web, right? Unless you're on the dark web, people who are going to Google or going to Bing or something, and who are looking these stuff up, they're eventually going to get caught, and they're going to be asked some serious questions.
And hey, I don't know how much weight this would carry, but I'm not sure if you guys just seen it or not. There's some guy in the comments from Australia talking about the gun ban and stuff, talking about how criminals over there still have weapons and things of that nature. Like
No one's disputing that criminals can. What we're disputing is that it's less likely. We're saying it's less likely for this to happen.
So, but the fact still remains, if you put a ban on it, like I said, all it's going to do is every law-abiding gun owner in America is not going to be able to get access to that weapon. But then criminals, through the right sources, can still have access to that weapon.
In very small circumstances, so they're significantly less likely to.
But then what do we do against the criminals?
The police.
So my family gets shot or killed because you ban the weapons.
That is less likely to happen if there aren't these types of weapons, according to countries like that. That's the only way I would be okay with it, is if it's less likely to happen.
Do you know what studies have indicated is the number one best home defense system from intruders? We actually have decades worth of studies. You know what that is?
Where do the studies come from?
The United States.
Oh, so the United States government made a study?
No, private institutions, universities, think tanks, the government. But even
By Democrats.
no, even conservative groups that study what prevents violence in the household, they all agree, well, most of them agree, that there are things that are better than guns. The top thing is actually a dog. Having a dog in the house scares away most people. Like having a dog, believe me, having a dog that barks really loud and looks scary, most people, even if they have a gun, they're not going to come into your house.
What study's that one?
I mean, you want me to find them for you? I'd be happy to.
If you know right off the top of your head, that'd be great.
Well, no, they always cite having a dog, having a home monitoring system, things like that, right? We know that having a gun in the house makes it more likely that violence actually happens within the house. You are much more likely to use the gun on yourself or on a family member than you are on a criminal.
So what if I use a speaker and have a dog barking as you walk up to the door?
You'd have to test that. They didn't test that in the study.
Yeah, I mean, test it, and if it turns out that that's a statistically significant result, then more power to you.
No, I was just curious if a speaker would be.
Well, no. The idea is that people can hear the animal. They can hear it moving around. They can hear it barking. A dog just it's just a very proactive thing, which is why people actually say when you look it up, it's that just having a dog.
Heather, thank you so much for the $25. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Heather. Can we get some W's for Heather in the comment section right now? Thank you so much, Heather, for the $25.
But again, my main point is the gun laws of the United States are unfortunately not likely to change in the next decade, really, because of the fact that our Congress is so polarized and that the Supreme Court has given such a broad interpretation of the Second Amendment. It's very likely that the status quo will hold for decades to come.
Have you read the Federation Papers?
The Federalist Papers?
Yeah.
By Hamilton and Madison and Jay. Yeah, what about them?
Okay, and then the one that talks about the Second Amendment, have you read that one?
I can't cite you which Federalist paper is about it. I agree with you that the Founding Fathers thought that a well-regulated militia and that certain parts of its citizens having guns was a good idea, but my main point is I think that we have gone off board and that we have granted it far too much.
It also said that we should have them in stores for people to buy.
Dude,
okay.
I honestly don't care about guns. I don't either. I don't give a flying fuck. Like, I'm getting so annoyed at this convo.
I care about my rights.
Oh, but you don't care about women's. You don't care about women's.
Hold on. Let me ask you this.
Jesus.
Let me ask you this. Whoever's talking.
This is insane.
Are you anti-abortion?
Yes.
Are you pro-life?
Okay. Do you understand? Do you understand how you are so advocating and so passionate about your Second Amendment issue and how you are willing to talk and advocate? That's what we do on that issue because we care about that issue. So when you say to us we should care or that we should believe it, we say the same thing to you. You should care that the right of women to have an abortion was taken away. You should care about that and you should be advocating for it, right? It's the same thing applies. You might not care, but we do. And so we're just giving you the same energy that you would give back at us whenever we talk about our issues.
Sure. Well, I agree. That's fine. That's fair.
Okay. Parker is just saying he doesn't care about guns. I don't care about guns. But as I'm telling you, right now, gun laws will not change in this country. I'm sorry. Don't mean to be like a Debbie Downer, but that's true. Nothing is going to change, no matter who's president, because of the fact that we are so polarized and because the Supreme Court has made it so that it's extremely difficult to change gun laws. So you guys can worry about it and go buy your ammunition and stock up and be fearful of like World War III, but It's just not going to happen. Like, I'm
Go
sorry,
Go
it's
get
not
your
going to happen.
bunkers. Go fill up on your stock supplies.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
Kamala's the one that's stirring the pot. She's the one that wants to ban all this stuff and make a bill. She's the one stirring the pot, not me.
That's a policy position. People are allowed to have policy positions, but
Well, why
I'm
not
being
pick
weird.
another
But
policy?
I'm the only liberal here that will probably actually tell you that this is not going to get passed.
Well-
Like, I'm being real with you. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen.
Right.
As much as I would like it to happen, it's not going to happen.
Why don't you pick a policy that can happen?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
She
Like,
has. That's just one policy that isn't going to happen. Like, I don't know what you're not understanding. Appreciate love penning. Thank you so much. You understand there are things Trump
this is not
supports.
difficult to understand.
There are
Like, I'm
things.
sorry. This
there
is
are
not
things.
difficult.
There are things Trump supports where he's like that specifically isn't going to get passed.
I mean, you know, if
He
you
supports
just,
getting rid of income tax and replacing with tariffs, and that quite literally is never going to get passed.
I think spending your energy on something that's going to pass or have a better chance of passing.
No, politicians do this all the time.
Okay, so can we not talk about this then? Can you just like be quiet and can we like talk about something else?
Go ahead.
Okay, so why would you vote for someone who's been held civilly liable of sexually assaulting a woman?
Because I don't think Trump did it.
Okay, what do you dispute in the case?
I dispute the dress.
You dispute the dress? The dress was never submitted as evidence.
Right, I know. I
Wait,
still
inquiry, what was the name of the victim?
Jean Carroll.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think that? I have a question. Do you think that it was politically motivated?
No, I think she's just nuts.
Okay. So what indicates that she's nuts?
I just listened to her talk.
Like, can you give me an example of what she said that makes her nuts?
I can't give you exact. You'd have to listen to her talk, and then you should be able to notice it. So when she's on NBC,
I've listened to her talk, and I've never got that impression.
Yeah, wait. I listened to
Everyone
Trump.
keep tapping the screen. Let's get to 1 million likes, y'all.
Well, maybe you both heard the different. You know, maybe you didn't hear what I heard. But,
Hey, look, I don't mean to interrupt you guys. I'm going to hop off here since we're off the gun thing. But
All right,
I just wanted to say one thing before I left. I firmly believe this because I'm a constitutionalist. I'm very constitutional, right or left. I support the Constitution. It's what this country is founded upon. If they can do what they want with one amendment of the Constitution, then they can twist the rest of them however they want. Now, you might not believe me and call that conspiracy.
Wait. So then, how do you feel about Trump saying he wants to put people in prison for burning the American flag? That's against the First Amendment.
And I mean, I don't agree with it personally. I really don't, because I mean, if you live in America, why would you want to burn the American flag?
I know, but the Second Amendment, he's against that in terms of the bump stock ban, and then the First Amendment, he's against that in terms of putting people in prison for a year for burning the American flag.
Yeah, then that's what I'm get. Well, and I see what you're saying. I completely understand, but I'm just saying, if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
But that's two. So he violated more amendments. So if you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. You're giving more inches to Donald Trump.
Well, technically, she's going further in depth with an amendment than he is, but
Wait, hold on. What amendment is she advocating for? She's not advocating for any new amendments.
No.
she's
He
advocating-
means
I said
against
twist
the
an
amendment. Like he's saying against the Second Amendment.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Yeah, you're fine though. Don't worry. All right, appreciate you coming up, buddy.
I'll see you, man.
Bye, buddy.
All right. Okay, if you're mad, type in the comment section right now, and we'll bring you up, everyone. Inquiry, you have anything else you want to say before I go on to the next person?
no, that's fine. Thanks for bringing me up.
Appreciate you. All right, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024. Let's get this next individual up here real quick. Fish incoming.
W fish. I'm trying to see what kind of fish it is. It's still loading.
They're not going to load. All right, let's get this next person up here. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024, y'all. Okay, they didn't get in. Yo, what's up, how old are you? Hello? Okay. Let's get this next person up here. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024. We are just looking for some debates. Let's get this next person up here quick. Keep tapping that screen. Seriously, everyone, let's tap the fuck out of the screen. Let's get to 1
I
million
appreciate
likes.
you putting me back up.
Yeah.
you already been up here?
Hey, so I got a question. I got questions real
Wait,
quick.
hold on, JP. Have you already been up here?
No.
Oh, okay.
Then why'd you say thanks for putting me back up here?
Yeah, that's where I am.
You cut me off when I was just talking about Tina real quick. I mean, I was only up
Oh,
here.
that's you.
Yeah,
30 seconds.
JP, are
No,
you
no, no, I'm
actually
real.
you
Don't
were
kick me.
trolling?
No, sir. No, sir.
You weren't trolling.
I'm just from the South, sir.
No, it has nothing to do with your accent.
No, I'm not.
Kicking
What's a
you off
troll? I
because
don't
your
understand what
accent.
you're saying, sir.
Okay.
No, I'm for real. Love you, Parker.
Are you voting Trump?
Hey, Ryan. You there? Ryan. Okay, he's gone.
Tina wouldn't lie.
Tina wouldn't lie. So true.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I love Tina. Hey, Zelda, you there?
How old are you?
They're not answering.
In the arms of an angel. I can't wait to get my third account back or my main account. Ugh, I can't wait. I hate being banned. It's the worst, Chad. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Jesus Christ.
No, he's not here yet.
Maybe soon, maybe soon. He's
Maybe
coming
soon.
back, and it's gonna be bigly. It's gonna be very great. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
43?
Are you voting Trump?
Yes.
Why so?
Inflation.
Okay, so how did the Biden-Harris administration cause inflation?
What do you mean, how did they call it? Well, it still happened during their administration, right?
Oh, I never disputed that it happened during their administration. I agree it did happen during their administration. But how was it caused by them?
It doesn't matter how it was caused or whether or not they fixed it.
No. So the inflation is dealt with specifically by the Federal Reserve.
So they have nothing to do with it whatsoever.
Basically, like you can have a marginal impact, but like it's not like the main thing that deals with inflation in these sort of events where there's high levels of inflation is the Federal Reserve. That's the only one that can truly like fix the problem.
Okay. So the Federal Reserve is what?
What do you mean? Are you asking like if it's a public sort of entity?
Well, you got to think about it. So the Federal Reserve can just bring inflation up and down how they see it.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So like as it relates to the here, let me explain. So as it relates to the like what they do, they can influence the increase in interest rates, which decreases aggregate demand, which would cause disinflation, which means that inflation would go down.
So if they can do that, how come the president just doesn't talk to them and say, "Hey, lower it for me"?
The point
You mean increase it? One, it's not controlled by the president. Like Trump tried to go to like Jerome Powell and said lower the rates, like when he was in office, and Jerome Powell didn't lower the rates. So
Yeah.
they don't listen to the president historically speaking. Secondly, it is the case that
he was in there.
what's up?
They were lower than when he was in there.
Yeah, no, but he wanted them to be even lower.
Yeah. So if he was
No, I'm just saying it doesn't change like what they specifically do. Plus, it is the case that again, it's totally determined by them. Like they're just not gonna like. I don't know what your point is with this.
So it just happened to be that when Obama was in office, rates are higher. When Trump comes in,
Rates shouldn't have been higher under
And then
the.
whenever Biden and
Rates should not have been higher under the Obama administration.
They shouldn't have.
No. Let me check interest rates back then. Like there was a recession, so there shouldn't have been. Are you just gonna be quiet?
No, I was waiting you.
No. You can talk about things while I pull it up.
Oh, okay. Well, the second thing is you guys already talked about firearms way too much. That was an intense conversation, by the way. But
We had relatively similar interest rates as what we did under the Trump administration, under the Obama administration.
yeah, relatively, yeah, a little higher during Obama, but yeah, I mean they were right there.
Pretty much.
Well, I'm kind of, yeah.
It's literally determined by the Federal Reserve in it.
But then you got in 2022, your average is 8%. That's pretty high, huh?
So no, the average was not 8% in 2022.
Really?
No.
Well, that's what I'm looking at. 2022, 8%. 2023 was
2022, it's 7%.
right now. Currently, it's 2.9 in July. That's
You're looking at inflation, not interest rates. I'm looking at historical mortgage rates.
Oh no, I'm
Average mortgage rates.
Yeah, I'm talking about inflation.
Yeah, I was referencing interest rates because that's what we were talking about. I don't know why you just randomly brought up inflation.
Well, that's because I was talking about inflation.
There was global inflation. Did you know that?
The global. I'm
There was
sure.
inflation in Asia and Africa and China and South America and Central America. So why do you specifically say that it's the Biden-Harris administration that's at fault when it was applicable to all these different countries?
So we want to be compared to China? I don't.
I compared us to all those different economies, and compared us as it relates to the context of inflation. That's a totally legitimate comparison, genius.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though. You still compared us to other countries.
No shit. No shit. I compared us to other countries.
Yeah, we're talking about United States.
Victoria, thank you for the $5. Holy shit! Are you really that dense? Like I just acknowledged that there was global inflation.
So okay, so our president again can't do anything about it.
No, they can't do anything about it as it relates to fixing the overall problem. Can they help? Can they help the problem? Sure, by advocating for particular policies, but that's not going to fix the problem. Also, can you give me any reason why they would have caused it? Actually, I'll actually ask you this: what's Trump's plan to fix it?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay, so what would Trump have done to fix it?
I'm not saying that he would or would not fix it. I don't know how it'd be. It's just convenient that it was lower when he was in office.
No, when you say convenient, you're just looking for things that specifically apply to him. Also, during his administration, there was 14.8% unemployment, the most since the Great Depression. I like how you don't blame him for that.
Come on. You know what? That unemployment's such a crock of shit because whenever all of a sudden Biden gets in office and all these people, they were counting all these people that were on